The following is a conversation with Eric McHugh, President at ShopEx Labs and Chief Growth Officer at DataInc. Eric is a Web3 and AI entrepreneur with a passion for sustainability, quantum, spirituality, and personal development. This is Pre-Zero Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Sid Ben Salah. We aim to explore the intersection of technology, human well-being, and sustainability. Today, we'll explore Web3, AI, and probably cryptocurrencies to discover how these cutting-edge technologies can help build a more prosperous and sustainable future. Eric, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Sid, it's great to be here. I'm really grateful. I'm looking forward to our conversation, man.
Great. Let's dive in. I noticed you got a unique mix of interest. Sailing and Muay Thai, among others. How did you get into these hobbies, and do they influence your work in tech and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so my main hobbies are chess, Muay Thai, sailing, and meditation, and they're all kind of related. Unfortunately, I don't get to sail as much as I would like to because I don't own a boat, so it's not exactly up to me. But Muay Thai and chess, I find them to be very similar, and they're very integrated into my lifestyle. So I use Muay Thai as my nighttime anchor. So I work with two different companies, so my schedule is kind of off the wall. So the first thing I do is I wake up, I meditate because that's the best time to meditate. I set my intention for the day, then I go to the gym, and then during the day I have a bunch of calls, whether it be tech, business, sales, podcast. I really just go by wherever my calendar goes. And then I close the night with Muay Thai. So Muay Thai is essentially kickboxing with knees and elbows, and it keeps me on point during the day. So for example, if I eat poorly during the day, I'll get hit more. If I'm distracted during the day, I'll get hit more. If I'm in Muay Thai and I bring my problems to work, like let's say I'm thinking about like a work situation, I'll get hit more and I can't properly hold the pads for my partner, which I find to be rude. So it forces you back in the present moment. And on top of that, like I'm a big believer in energy, so I view my diet as like the food you eat, the content you consume, the people you're around. Like if you eat bad food, you feel bad the next day. You consume bad content, you feel bad the next day. You're around bad people, you feel bad the next day. The Muay Thai gym, I think it's one of my favorite groups of people because you show up there. It's one of the hardest physical workouts you can do. So people are there at least somewhat disciplined. Everyone's extremely respectful. No one really cares about your work. You're all there just trying to get better. Different age groups, different genders, who cares? Like it doesn't matter at all. And I find that to be a fun group of people to be around, like a good, wholesome group of people to be around.
Wow. And how was the Muay Thai community in general, Eric?
Extremely kind, extremely respectful. No one's, and like, I don't think people think this way, but like, no one's trying to start fights. Like, I think someone who trains Muay Thai is typically they're the least aggressive type of people, you know. They're always kind and like, but they're there to push you too. It's like, it's just fun. Like, I don't know, we're all there trying to get better. Like, have my friends, we'll hit each other in the face and we'll hug after and then get some food. And we're like, hey, thanks, man. And the reason, it's like content optimization. It's like, okay, man, I'm going to keep hitting you until you learn to block. And that's how you learn to block. And then you're better. It's like, thank you.
Yeah, great. Eric, you got a fascinating journey leading ShopEx Labs and working with DataInc. Can you tell us how you first become involved in Web3 and AI?
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to. So I believe in the power of authenticity, and I believe you're happiest when you're serving other people. So what I mean by authenticity is I'm the number one me in the world. If you try to be me, you can't be me at being me. But if I try to be you, I can't beat you at being you. So if I'm happiest serving other people, how do I best serve other people? And the way for me to do that is being myself because I'm number one in the world. So that's why it's important to follow your natural gifts, your natural curiosities, do whatever you're excited about because that's going to lead to success. So for my particular journey, I started my first job out of college was at Snap helping craft their ad algorithm. I just thought it was a cool job out of college, so I took it. Then joined a consultancy firm that helped companies go through the Fortune 500 bankruptcy process because, hey, like after college, like doctor, lawyer, consultant, sounds good for the degree. But I was getting into cryptocurrency and that didn't align with the ethos of the firm. Not that the firm was bad people or anything, like they're actually really kind and smart. It's just when you're going through a company's going through bankruptcy, there's a set pool of money that's supposed to be distributed amongst like the creditors, like the mom and pops who they owe money to. And the lawyers, consultants, and the court, like they're all billing out hours. So every hour I would bill gets takes from the pool that should have gone to the person. And on top of that, the normal people, like they're at the bottom, like lawyers get paid out first. And so like a lot of times people get paid pennies on the dollar, and talking with the people, like the creditors, it wasn't a good feeling. And at that point in time, I was really getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I love the non-rent seeking incentives behind that. So I quit that job without a plan in place. I started going to cryptocurrency meetups during my local area, met the original ShopX team. And one late night we were ideating like on a whiteboard, and we're like, oh, we have these problems. Like, because like in startups, you just write a bunch of stuff on the whiteboard. It's a fun activity. And then the idea that was put on the whiteboard actually had legs. So that became a different company that helped solve affiliate and referral codes. It got incubated by one of the best incubators in the world in California. So at a young age, an incubator is essentially startup school. So you're like, there's different founders at different levels with different team sizes in different areas. So at a young age, I was in that type of environment, and I was able to network with so many different people in different industries and different fields with different areas of expertise, which really boosted my, I guess, work stats, as I like to call them. Yeah, so building ShopX ever since. A while back, I was on a crypto-specific podcast tour. I went on this one podcast run by this dude named Mark. We stayed in touch after the podcast. We became friends via Instagram Reels, and then this Twitter AI-looking bot started following me. I'm like, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's Mark. I'm thinking about starting this AI dating app. I'm like, okay, well, that's funny. Hey, it's a really good idea, and it could help a lot of people. So I've just been working on both simultaneously. And they help keep each other fresh too. It's like stuff I learned at dating helps with ShopX, stuff I learned at ShopX helps with dating. So like there's no conflict of interest there.
Yeah, really interesting. And Eric, there is a lot of buzz about Web3. Is it just a trendy buzzword, or do you believe it's truly happening and transforming industries?
Yeah, so it's both. So I think it is a trendy buzzword, but it also has some weight behind it. So for Web3 to be successful, it has to be running in the back end, and no one has to know it. So the difference between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 is like they're just buzzwords made up to help people understand it. But in Web 1, first phase of the internet, you can read only. So you can go online, you can read stuff, I think it's really useful because people can learn stuff, which a more educated populace, I think the better. Web 2, the easiest way to frame that is with social media. So just think of like Instagram or think of Facebook. You can read and you can write, but you can't own. So like I can write an Instagram post. You could read my Instagram post, but Instagram owns the post. So we could say something that's podcast that doesn't fly. Even 10 years down the line, they can cancel us both for that reason. And I think that's extremely important. I think of currency as content as well. Like you're putting in hours, your time is getting saved in dollars or euros or whatever the case may be. And if you say something wrong and they can cancel your money, I think that could be a big problem in the future. But in Web3, you can read, write, and own. So you can not only create the content, write the content, but you also can own the content. So my area of expertise is e-commerce. So let's say hypothetically I'm an e-commerce brand. I create a Web3 product in the form of a tokenized asset or a reserve loyalty pass. I give you the pass, or you purchase the pass because you want the pass, you want the e-commerce benefits. There's now a connection between me and you, so that it creates a direct connection between the creator and consumer. And let's say you take me off or whatever. I'm like, this guy, Sid, I do like you, but I don't really like him. I can't take it away from you. It's yours. Amazon, the government, they can't take it away from you. It's your property, so only you can take it away from you. And I think it helps overall society because this is why I'm so passionate about Bitcoin and why ShopX is like, to go back into the why. Overall, I want to live a nice, peaceful life. That's kind of what I want. I find that to be more difficult to do if I found the money system to be corrupt. That led me to physical gold and physical silver as my intro to that. I'm like, okay, well, they're printing money out of everywhere. That's one of the reasons why people can't afford groceries. If we had a stable currency like gold or silver, that'd be good. Oh, they're printing fake certificates for silver and gold. Might as well buy the real thing. And then that led me to Bitcoin as a solution for that. And ShopX is a way for me to offer e-commerce brands incentive to offer their customers incentive to enter the space. So in my mind, Bitcoin creates value. It incentivizes value creation versus value extraction. Like in America, if I want to become rich right now without producing any value, the easiest way for me to do that is place myself next to the money printer, aka the Federal Reserve, and extract as much value as I can, which is essentially stealing from everyone in America. Actually, you too, because a lot of currencies are based on the dollar. So essentially, I'm just taking from everyone, enriching myself. And now, because I have access to unlimited money, I'm in a position of power. I'll always defeat the person who doesn't have access to unlimited money because I'm going to do what the Federal Reserve says, and this creates a system of corruption at the top where the corrupt people have access to all the money, they kind of stay in power and they just kind of sit there and just extract. And it creates a parasitic state, and I think a lot of people are unfortunately feeling their effects and they don't know why. But in a Bitcoin world, if I want to, let's say I want to become richer in a Bitcoin world, and it goes back to if I want to become rich, how do I do this? I have to create as much value as I can for a lot of people by authenticity. So like, Sid, if I win your Bitcoin, how do I get your Bitcoin? Well, I can't inflate it away. I can't take it away. I have to produce something of value for you, and then you voluntarily give me your Bitcoin. So now if I want to become as rich as possible and get as many Bitcoins as possible, I have to create a lot of value for a lot of people at scale. And the easiest way to do this is to do what your heart desires, or what your heart tells you to.
Yeah. And do you think Web3 has the potential to become seamlessly integrated into everyday's life, like the web before it?
Yeah, no, it has the potential, and the thing is, if it doesn't do that, it's likely to fail. So there's two main reasons Web3 is not massively adopted right now. The first is incentive. Like, there's no real reason for my mom, my grandma, or anyone to enter the Web3 space. And the second is user interface. Like, I can't send my mom to a Web3 product. Like, I can't send my mom to go buy meme coin or something.
Forget it.
It's just not going to work, because forget it. But the good news is Web3 is composable. Essentially, it means it takes advantage of the compounded interest of software, so people could just copy and paste the code. And so once like Nike, for example, gets in, they create a Web3 product, because like Nike can't send its customers through a bad user interface. Otherwise, I think we both know how fickle customers are when purchasing a product. So they can't send their customers through that. Once Nike does that, Reebok has to follow. They can copy the code. Now Reebok does it too. Then Adidas, and it creates it's going to be a gradually, then suddenly type of movement. And again, like long term, I'd say 10 to 15 years out, Web3 will be done in the background. My mom will take out her phone, tap, tap, tap. All the things do the thing, and she gets her product, she gets her benefits, merging and paid, and everyone's happy.
Eric, you explain beautifully and in a simple way what's a Web3. We talk slightly about various applications and stuff like that. But while there is so much excitement, and there is, I can tell you here in Europe, there is a lot of excitement around Web3, but it is not without challenges. How do you see the scalability and performance issues being addressed?
Yeah, so I think, of course, like Web3 itself, people are excited about it because they're financially incentivized to be excited about it. Like even myself, like I'm financially, I think it's a good thing, but I'm also financially incentivized to be excited about it. So there's definitely, so at its core, Web3, just like every other technology, is a neutral application. It can be used for good ways, it can be used for bad ways. I just like to look at the good ways. I would say the biggest deterrent is its biggest strength. So the biggest strength of the ownership of Web3 is its base about ownership. So I own my assets, you can't take it away from me. But at the same time, if I lose my assets, who do I call? Do I call the CEO of Bitcoin? Do I call the CEO of Ethereum? Like, hey, I sent my money to the wrong place. And then imagine like a grandma or mother, or someone who doesn't really know the application, using that, sending all their life savings to somewhere, they just purchased like $1,000 product, they send it to the wrong address mistakenly, and then you just can't get it back. So I'd say that's the biggest drawback. And there has to be like a 2.5 solution in the sense I think Web3, the beauty of Web3 is it's the optionality. Like you can't force Web3 upon everyone. So I would like to see a world in that case where I, as a user, I think I'm very confident in Web3. I can take complete control of my assets and feel comfortable with it. And if I lose it, it's all me, but I also get the benefits of ownership. But at the same time, if my mom wants to work through like a Web3 custodian, like maybe like a JP Morgan Chase or an Amazon, and they handle everything for her, A, you don't get the ownership, but B, you're still interacting in the ecosystem and the risk isn't on you. So I think having both solutions I think that's the way forward. And on top of that, I can see Web3 just getting easier and easier to use long term as well.
And on that, Eric, what's your take on the regulatory hurdles? What kind of challenges or hurdles facing Web3 and decentralized technologies?
Yeah, so I live in the United States, and I can tell you the regulatory system is a complete nightmare in the United States. Like it was very difficult to even build everything, not because people don't want to follow the rules, but just because there are no rules followed. Like there's no set guidelines, and they haven't been clear to make that. And I think there are two reasons they haven't been clear to make that. The people making the rules simply don't understand technology enough to be capable to do so. And the secondary reason, I think there's an incentive structure
Hold on. And who is competent? Let's talk now about the case of United States. Which department or government entity or whatever, they have the skills and the competencies to propose a set of rules and regulations and implement those rules?
Yeah, so I think honestly all I mean, no one in crypto is going to agree with my answer, but I think pretty much everyone in the government has the ability to become competent because it's a learning curve. But a lot of people don't want to do the learning because they're not incentivized to do so. But they can all, like any department, could bring in the right people who know their stuff and just take their opinion, and they don't have to take their opinion. Like, they just have to listen to them, and if you listen to them, they're likely to learn, and then they can be competent enough to create the rules and regulations. So I think anyone could, to be honest.
So they just rely on experts, or appoint some various companies or firms to advise them on the best way to go forwards with regulations. Yeah,
exactly. And in the United States, particularly, the government's rather old. I think the average age of Congress is in the 70s. And for new technology, that may not be the best thing to do. Like, if, for example, the Trump administration, I know they're getting advice from some top voices in the space. And I think that because in the past, like, people in crypto have tried to, like, help out. They've gone to DC, they've tried to explain stuff, and they just haven't been listened to. But now I've noticed that they're getting listened to more, so that leads more likely to positive regulation. And on top of that, there's a game theory thing at play, because, like you said, like, Bitcoin is a game where the earlier you get in, the better it is. And once you get in, you're incentivized to tell other people. So this applies at the individual level. So when I first heard about Bitcoin, of course, I told my family and friends about it, got ignored, but now they're glad they bought. This applies at the company level too. So, like, for example, MicroStrategy, the firm, they're using their balance sheet to purchase tons and tons of Bitcoin. Other companies are seeing that. They're starting to purchase Bitcoin for their balance sheet. And that also applies on the country level. Like, for example, El Salvador, they mine Bitcoin. They purchase Bitcoin on the daily. Other countries are seeing how profitable, how good it is for them, and now they're incentivized to enter the space. And so, for example, when the United States does finally decide to pull the trigger, and it's because of the skin in the game, like, they have no real incentive to, they actually have disincentive to encourage the growth of cryptocurrency because they lose a lot of power. But let's say, for example, the administration were to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now the United States has skin in the game and they want it to flourish. And on top of that, I think cryptocurrency, Web3 stuff, and AI are the top two sectors in the technology space. So the entrepreneurs and the businesses are likely to flock to the places where they're treated best, whether it be United States, whether it be El Salvador, whether it be Europe. Wherever the entrepreneurs treated best, they're likely to go. And that's because of the global workforce economy we have right now. Like, for example, I think there's some industries, like, you need very large corporations like oil and gas. You simply just need the manpower. But for tech companies, I think the ideal size is honestly 10 to 20 people, highly qualified, working independently, working on multiple projects that they're passionate about. And if you can work that remote lifestyle, it's like, why would you stay in the United States when Singapore is much better for your taxes, or Brazil or Thailand is just like a beautiful place to live? It's going to attract the right people naturally. And United States, all the countries want that talent, so they're incentivized to create some proper regulation.
Really interesting. Eric, one of the fascinating aspects of Web3 and cryptocurrency is how culture and celebrity influence trends, especially regarding the memes coins. Figures like Elon Musk have practically turned Dogecoin into a household name with just a tweet. He put one tweet or two, and then you see a huge effect. And more recently, the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul match seems to have sparked a creation of new meme coins tied to the event. It's like blockchain meets pop culture. How significant is the role of high-profile figures like Elon Musk in driving attention to cryptocurrencies, particularly meme coins?
Yeah, so in terms of meme coins, I see a bunch of positives and I see a bunch of negatives. So if you want to think of meme coins, like I said, NFT and Web3 connection, like Web3 technologies are a way to create a connection between a creator and consumer. So let's say hypothetically Mike Tyson launches a meme coin. He knows all the individual wallet addresses who hold that meme coin, and then he can give value to those meme coin holders. Like, for example, you own 1,000 Mike Tyson coins. Congrats, you're one of the top holders. You can get access to the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fighter. You only own 50. You get an autographed Mike Tyson hat. So it creates that connection between the creator and consumer. So I can see a bunch of people creating meme coins in their own individual place. And I think it's a good way to bring people into space. Like Elon Musk with Dogecoin, he's created a government agency based about that. A lot of people they know Doge, fantastic. Now they're into the space. And it's a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people. It's like, you may hear of Doge, you don't know what Bitcoin is, but you're like, oh, Doge is a joke, but Bitcoin's real. And then you start learning about your own space, and then you become fully into it or not. It's really up to you. But there is a dark downside of meme coins. So the biggest problem with meme coins right now is there's actually lack of regulation in the sense anyone can launch a coin. So there's a lot of shady dealings in the background, meaning like there's a group of shadow meme coin cabals where, like on meme coins, you hear about like, oh, I made $1 million from 100 people or from $100, that type of thing. That's being spread around. I would say 99% of people who try to invest in meme coins eventually lose money in this space because there's a group of powerful people in the cryptocurrency space. I like to joke and call them the meme cabal. Is what they do is they just get meme coins, they pump a specific one, steal extra liquidity, and move to the next one over and over again. So I think it's orchestrated, and I think it does a lot of damage in the sense, like I've seen all over TikTok where like meme coins are taking over TikTok. Yeah, it's great, but then you hear stories about like someone losing, like I had 4K in meme coin, now I have $60, and it's like not the best entry, but if it gets them into the crypto, but then again, that's where the freedom aspect is. Like anyone can create a coin, anyone can buy the coin, but you have to be careful when operating in the meme coin space. But don't get me wrong, like meme coins is essentially tokenized community. So if you find a meme coin with a great community that's actually good, that's well intentioned, like the developer's not going to just rug all the money from you, that's fantastic, but that's also extremely rare. So I would advise caution when entering the space, but hey, I find them funny, so like it's humorous. There's nothing wrong with that.
So Eric, we were talking about cryptocurrency and you gave us a couple of examples. Let me ask you this question. Do you think this kind of influence from figure like Elon Musk and the Tyson case, do you think this influence is sustainable, or does it create a bubble effect in the crypto world?
Yeah, so regarding the celebrity influence in crypto, I don't think it's that big. Well, yes, Elon is a big player, and he did bring a lot of attention to Doge, and that's largely because he's creating a Doge base. He's created the Department of Government Efficiency, which is named after Doge, so that's causing a lot of attention around that. But I think Elon Musk is a specific case, and I don't know, the thing about cryptocurrency space is not too many people care too much about the celebrity influence. So if a celebrity were to launch a meme coin or a cryptocurrency or whatever, all that's doing is creating a connection between the fan and the celebrity. So if the celebrity already has fans and doesn't screw them over, I think it's overall good. I mean, like Beyonce or Jake Paul, for example, could launch a Jake Paul coin. He knows who the Jake Paul coin holders are. It's like, okay, you are holders of the Jake Paul coin, you get access to exclusive content if you have 1,000 Jake Paul coins. Oh, you have 1,000 or 1,000,000, you get front row seats to me and fight Mike Tyson or something along those lines. And the cool thing about that is, back to the e-commerce example, is in that example, I could be a Jake Paul fan. I'm not, but I could be a Jake Paul fan. I'm like, okay, well, I could tick off Jake Paul. He can't take away the Jake Paul coin if I violate terms of agreements or whatever, because it's my coin. And if I stop being a Jake Paul fan or whatever, I can then sell the Jake Paul coins on open market and either gain a profit or make some money back. Or if I'm too old, I can pass it to my kids. And this is important because, like, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are already big, but let's say you said you're an up and coming artist. It's like your first show. It's your first music show. You have 50 people in the fan base. 25 are friends and family. 25 are normal people who just like your music. You could launch a meme coin for that, and that could act as proof of intent. So only 50 people have that SID meme coin. That connection is created between me and you, creating consumer. 20 years down the line, you could be front-loading Coachella or a music festival, and then you can give me benefits like, hey, you're an early supporter, here's your Coachella passes, or it's like, you're big now, like you're the Led Zeppelin of music. Because as an early supporter, I own the SID meme coin. That meme coin, theoretically, more people are going to want into the meme coin space because you, as a celebrity, are much larger, and now I could sell at a profit, and I can enjoy the benefits from your success as well.
Yeah. So what you're saying is basically niche right now.
Yeah, so right now, so the thing about meme coins is like majority of them are scams. Like there are some large communities behind meme coins, and I expect those to be around. So because crypto is new, so it's a lot of trial and error on different cycles, and bull runs are a game of narratives. So we just left the meme coin narrative where I'd say 60 to 75% of attention was focused on meme coins. And that was from a concentrated push from people in the space. But overall, I do think meme coins have a place in the space, but I would say their attention share is probably going to end up out in 5%, where it's not everyone making meme coins. Like, for example, on Solana, that's a cryptocurrency, they have a product and service called Pump Fund. There's like thousands of meme coins being created every day because anyone can make it. Most fail, so there's that. But there is room for this. There is room for meme coins in space.
Let's see. We will know quite soon. Yeah. Eric, leading companies in such rapidly changing spaces must be challenging. What are the lessons you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be as challenging. I view it as more as fun. But in terms of challenge, with these particular two spaces, you really just have to be on the ball in terms of updates of technology because everything is changing every day. So you just have to be active. You can't be stagnant in terms of learning. The biggest advice I would learn is to stay calm. And that comes from meditation. Like, for example, you're going to make a lot of decisions. The best way you can make a decision is from a calm state of mind. And I've learned that the opportunity cost of making decisions in a not calm state of mind is often really high. Like, for example, in startups in both tech and AI, there's very limited resources in terms of time or money or energy. And if you make a wrong decision because you're in a rush or because you're flustered or because someone tells you to make a specific decision, you're wasting time, money, and energy on the wrong solution that should have been spent on the right solution. So it's really just clear your head. The name of the game is making the best move. Because just like in chess, it's like I can make the best move. Let's say we're playing chess. It's my turn. Last move could have been the best move possible. It could have been the worst move possible. It doesn't matter. At this particular moment, the best thing for me to do is make the best move that puts me in the best chance to succeed. And if you do that over and over again with their big goal in mind, you'll eventually hit it. So I think it's important to have like your big goal in mind. Like ShopX, 80% of NFTs are going to be ENFTs. Dating is going to match a billion happy couples. How we get to those goals, we don't know. We figure out how we get it in the meantime. But having that written out, put on the universe, I think is very important. Because I also believe in the fact I think there's an infinite number of possibilities happening every second of every day. And the reality that we're paying attention to is because we're paying attention to it. So when you say something like that, I think creates a collapse in the sense you select your own destiny. So it's important to have those goals in mind. Oh, so I'd say the biggest lesson I learned is when you're creating something, whether it be technology, whether it be in content, whether it be in CPG, who cares? You're creating your own, you're consciously creating your own reality. So when you're doing anything in business, don't harm anyone and don't take anything away from anyone. And you should be good to go because I fully believe in karma. So if you do stuff in bad ways, bad comes to you. But if you do stuff in good ways, good comes to you. And if you're doing stuff in good ways, it often creates it just builds on itself. It's compounding. You do good every day, great. More good comes to you and just keeps on adding. You meet the right people, the right opportunities present themselves, the right string of luck just happens, and it all tends to work out.
And you said, Eric, that things change almost every day on a daily basis. In terms of the way your business is structured, let's say it's a startup, do you revisit your value proposition all the time? Do you revisit your mission, or you stick to the same value proposition from the minute you started your business, and you just adapt, and if you have to pivot as well, or how does it work in this business?
Oh yeah, so there's tons of pivoting. So we have our overall value proposition set. So like I would say the very large goal is set. Like ShopX, 80% of ENFTs are going to be ShopX NFTs, and Dating is going to match a billion happy couples. But we're not sure the best way to do that. So for example, ShopX, right now we're tokenizing the world's products. But that was a recent development. That's how we started our mission as doing that. But then market demand, they wanted us to create, so that market demand, like specifically e-commerce brands who want to use our products and services, they wanted us to create NFTs that acted as loyalty membership cards for whatever reason. So because the market demanded that, we built that and pivoted back to the original value proposition. So overall, goals are set, but how you get there and the value proposition can change. I mean, I think one of the laws of the universe is impermanence, meaning everything is changing every second of every day, and you can't ignore change, otherwise you'll get left behind. So maybe the value proposition of ShopX or Dating changes. I think it's unlikely, but if it changes, it changes, because the name of the game is really just constant adaptation. The name of the game is adaptation and failure. It's like, okay, well, I guess creating ENFTs with loyalty paths built in mind wasn't the best way to do things. At the time it was. At the time it was the best move. But now the best move is to go back to tokenizing the world's products. And if that's the case in 10 years, great. If it's not the case in 10 years, we have to adapt to whatever's the best move at that time.
And maintaining a positive mindset is key. How do you stay grounded and adaptable with all the chaos of the tech innovation?
Yeah, so this is where meditation, spirituality really
that you
is
explained
the base.
earlier.
So I believe, So I believe there's a God. I think there's a creator, whatever that case may be. I think they have a specific plan for me, and I think the plan is overall good for me. I think like he's not going to screw me over, and I think I'm too small and insignificant to understand the plan fully. So whenever thing happens to me, it's for a reason. So I have that mindset in mind. I also think of everything in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So like when you're saying you're at a specific emotional state, like let's say I'm loving, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm hopeful. You're just saying I'm vibrating at a specific frequency. And just like if you turn to a specific frequency on the radio station, you get that station. When you're angry, you're on the angry frequency, you attract angry people in your life. When you're loving, you attract loving people. When you're helpful, you attract helpful people. When you're positive, you attract positive experiences. When you're negative, you attract negative experiences. So for me, logically, it makes sense to keep a positive mindset because I like positive experiences in my life. I like attracting people in my life who want to help me because I want to help them, and that's how real businesses form. So that helps a lot. And for me, the meditation retreat I went on, it really cleared out the base. So like I went on a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat. What that is, that's the method that the Buddha used to reach enlightenment. So it's 10 days, full meditation, no talking with anyone, no writing, no nothing. It's just straight, it's like surgery on your subconscious. But for the first 3 days, you focus your attention on the area around your nostril, what this does, and then you start to pick up different sensations. And then after that, back and forth over and over again, you scan every inch of your body over and over again. And this extracts the traumas that you stored in your body in the form of different sensations. So just like if you're trying to send a piece of metal to space, you can run it through magnets to extract all the impure metals. That's a good way to do things. You're just doing that at a spiritual perspective. So after that cleanse per se, you leave the center becoming a positivity generator. So when you're thinking positive, when you're wishing everyone the best, people are wishing you the best, and it creates a nice little, I think of it in terms of actually just shifting timelines. Like I think there's different timelines. Like for example, after this call, there's a timeline where I go have some alcohol. I mean, it's 11 a.m. in my time, not the best move, but that's going to put me on a negative timeline. After the alcohol, what's going to happen? I'm likely going to have some unhealthy food. I'm going to have some unhealthy food. I'm likely going to do Muay Thai. And because everything has cause and effect, that's going to put me in the position to not succeed. Whereas if after this call, I meditate, I go on a walk, I go whatever, that puts me on a more positive timeline, and it keeps escalating that way.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Eric, what advice would you give to ambitious entrepreneurs looking to break into Web3 and AI?
Yeah, so the thing is, honestly, circling back to the power of authenticity, I think you're put on this earth to serve people, and you're going to be happy serving people, and you're only going to be happy, and you can only best serve people if you're doing stuff you actually like. Like, for example, I could make a cup business. Nothing against cup business, but I'm not exactly about creating cups. So if I'm making a cup business, I'm not really passionate about it, I'm not really helping people. But just follow your action, like do what you actually want, because that's going to be best in the world at anyways. And that's the best way to serve other people. Some more practical advice is just to start. Like, you may have an idea, you may be working 9 to 5, it is what it is, it's fine. Just create like a Google Drive folder, be like, okay, and then, because like once you start, the path appears itself, and you can quickly learn if it's not the path. So create a Google Drive folder. It's like, okay, I have a Google Drive folder. What do I have to do? I probably need to put some folders in that Google Drive folder. Okay, what do I need? I need engineering, I need business development, I need marketing. Okay, well, this marketing folder, what goes in that? I don't know. Oh, probably social media. Well, I have a social media account. I have a social media folder with no accounts. So, well, I should probably create the accounts and then just work on it daily. I think consistency is extremely important. I think having the overall goal in mind is, but you really have to show up daily because that has compounding effects. Yeah, like keep positive, do that positive vibration thing. Like always try to help people because people will try to help you. If you're taking investment, don't take investment from the wrong people, because I know as an early entrepreneur, like you're probably not gonna, you won't have salary for a while. So like someone's gonna come and be like, hey, I like your idea, here's some money. But if they're not aligned with your mission, it'll be more detrimental long term versus if you find someone who's actually aligned with you. So that's how you succeed there. And don't harm anyone. Don't take anything away from anyone. You should be good to go. And the plus side is like all the tools are there too. So like, imagine this, like 50 years ago, if I was born in the slums of the Philippines, that's probably where I would die. And I mean, this would be my existence. But now with AI and blockchain, if my area of expertise or passion is e-commerce, I can use AI to create a website, to create a copy, to create graphics, to do all those things, all stuff I wouldn't have been able to do some in the past. So the barrier to entry to start entrepreneurship is lower as it's never been lower. And on top of that, with people like yourself creating independent content, Instagram, Facebook, you can build your own personal brand easier. Like in the past, you'd have to go out to a newspaper. That's all the only way to do it. But now it's like, hey, you can go on a podcast or get drum up interest. You can do a bunch of things. So the time is now, and if people start creating. So overall, I think overall the world's getting better. So I know a bunch of negativity is getting pushed, but from a vibrational scale, like think of it 0 to 1,000, where the lowest emotion is shame. 1,000 is like Jesus, Krishna, and the Buddha, so they reached peak, which is why they were so helpful. Between the areas of 100 and 200 is when people are most controlled. So that's where fear, hate, anger, all those emotions lie. And I think that's why social media always pushes that specific type of content, because that's where people in power can easily control people. But above 200, that's when people start giving energy versus taking energy. So if you're living your purpose, you'll slowly rise above 200. Then you're creating value for the world. Then you'll rise higher and higher because you're happier, you're creating more and more value. And as you rise, the people around you rise, and the people around them rise. So yeah, I think, and then you're just serving other people. So it's like you're just following your purpose. So I think that's where we're headed. And I think once we enter the world of value creation versus value extraction, like even our generation will feel the benefits, but like think of it like 5-10 generations down the line where people are trying to create value versus trying to scheme on how to take value. I think we'll be in a good spot.
I like your positive attitude, Eric. It's really, it's refreshing. And what's next for ShopX Labs and Data Inc? Any major development you're excited about?
Yeah, so ShopX I'm really excited about right now. So we're in the middle of a company merger. So with a company that works with pretty much all the luxury brands, so we'll have access to pretty much any luxury product we want to tokenize, which is cool. We're launching our new marketplace, which is MerchX. So companies, those luxury brands, will be able to tokenize like supercars, Patek watches, Rolexes, put them on a global marketplace, and then people can purchase those tokenized assets and claim the real one in real life. We're about to start our KOL tour, so a bunch of people in the crypto space are going to start talking about ShopX. So I think that's going to be exciting. Dating, we're launching in LA first. So we're launching February 14th because it's Valentine's Day in LA, because that's where we're from. And we're copying the Uber approach for dating in the sense like city by city over and over again. So we're going to learn what works in LA, then apply it to SF, New York, Austin, whatever city we choose. And again, because if you match someone in LA and New York, that's cool. You make it along, but it's probably better to match someone in the same city as you. So those two are coming up pretty
then
quick.
Globally, maybe?
Yeah, no, definitely globally. So United States first, and then we'll do globally. I like Japan just because I love Japan, so I kind of want to go there. We have good connections, but Europe is cool too.
Yeah. Let's hope.
And long term it can be, because dating is just the easy marketplace. Like, because no one's happy with dating apps. Like most people are single and happy, unfortunately. But long term it can be a community building app too. So like, imagine like I'm visiting Europe for the first time. It's like, oh, this is my first time here. Find me 5 guys in my local area who are either traveling or into the same interests. That can find me those people. It's like your daughter or son's first day in college. Hey, find me a roommate where it could better find roommates. Or like, let's say we're just happy to be in the same town. We are at the same coffee shop, or we could get a notification saying on our phone. It's like, hey, you guys actually have a bunch of common. You both like to sail. Would you like to do a quick hangout? We go up. Nice to meet you, Sim. My name is Eric. We tap our phones. It scans our digital footprint. Then it could show us what we have in common and plan our next hangout. So I think it could build communities, which I think is really important.
That's great. Really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a specific project or technology you believe will drive mass adoption and change perceptions of Web3?
Yeah, no, the one I'm working on, like ShopX. So the problem with like most Web3 projects is, it's just a bunch of DJs doing dumb stuff that doesn't add any value to everyone. Like meme coins, for example. Like meme coins are great, they're funny, but in the end, it's like a rug pull type of thing where it's like, okay, whatever. Some celebrity created a coin, pumped it up, then sold on his users. That's not good for mass adoption. But with ShopX, for example, it's like there's real sales behind the project. It's called a utility coin. It's like, how do you get people into the Web3 space? Well, you offer them incentive to actually use things to get in the Web3 space. Yeah. So, like, for example, we worked with Fox's new show, Copopolis. They created a Web3 technology that linked their NFT holders to the show so they get exclusive access to products, get a vote on stuff of the show, they get exclusive content, they get a bunch of stuff. And the people wanted that, the Copopolis fans they wanted the commerce benefits that came with the Web3 technology. So they purchased the pass, and now they're in the space. And if they want to learn more, they can. So it's all about giving people real world value and actually reason to enter the space.
Eric, within the sports industry, I strongly believe that we will adopt quickly and at scale when it comes to mainstream events. Could be sports, could be entertainment, could be esports. I believe it's going to be massive. It's going to be big.
I'll give you a really quick example right now, but because sports is a very easy one to adopt. And Ticketmaster, like for example, I want to go to a Lakers game. Lakers are the basketball team in LA. Okay, it's like me and my friends are always on Ticketmaster. Like, oh, let's go to a game. It's $60. That's a good deal. Let's check out. Okay, why is it 120? It's the fees on top of that. And it's like, oh, well, whatever, we're buying now. So now people can just upload their tickets in the form of tickets. And then you could just buy the ticket directly. And on top of that, if I want to sell the ticket, like let's say I want to sell a ticket to you, I could sell it directly to you. So I could put it in an auction. You'd be like, okay, this ticket's $50. You come and buy it. No additional fees. And on top of that, let's say it just happens to be Kobe Bryant. I have RIP Kobe, but I was a big Kobe fan. Let's just say you happen to be at the game where Kobe accomplishes a specific milestone. The ticket now acts as proof of attendance because they know which wallet owns the ticket, and they can airdrop benefits that way. So they're like, okay, well, you were here at the Kobe passing MJ in points. Congratulations. Now on our website, there is a section for Kobe jerseys with his autograph commemorating this moment, and your NFT that you got airdropped for going to the game, that's access to that section. So congratulations. So it creates like the easiest thing is Ticketmaster, where it's like, I'm sorry, whatever I try, it just always gets him. Like, because you go to the game because it's like $50. You're like, that's a good deal. And then you already commit. You get your friend group together, and then like it's 115. You're just like,
yeah. Let's see. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. We talked earlier about policies and regulations. I hope the regulations will evolve within the technology and things like that. I hope they will not create a barrier or a hurdles to develop more, to scale for various entities, various businesses, entertainment, sports as well. So it will be interesting to see what will happen within the space of Web3, AI. I mean, just AI, the past 2 years, has been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. And I'm already thinking, how is going to look in 5 years or 10 years from now? So, interesting. Eric, it's time for our lightning round.
Ooh, lightning round, that sounds fun.
Ready for speedy Q&A?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. What's your favorite way to unwind after a hectic day, beside of meditation?
Okay.
That was it.
Or walks. Walks too. Yeah, walks are really good.
Yeah. You spoke earlier about Vipassana. You've done that where? In the US or?
Yeah, so my particular center was in Joshua Tree, California. It was cool because this was it was an Indian land where there's a peace area where there's no wars fought. But there are centers all over the world. It's completely free. You just sign up and go. And it's 10 days, food, lodging, everything is
no phone, no mobile, no social media.
Yeah, no nothing. Like no looking at anyone. No.
So it's a
no
detox.
Talk. And it's a cleanse. It's a full detox. It is great, honestly. I highly recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. And I think we spoke about that, Eric, during our intro chat. Do you sincerely, does your mind switch off completely and focus only on, for example, your breathing, or time to time, do you have this kind of cringe thoughts or ideas that keep popping all the time? How does it work with you?
Yeah, so in terms of idea, your brain never completely shuts off. I think experience like monks who live in the Himalayas and just do that. I think they probably could, but I'm too attached to society. So the way I think of it, it's like an email inbox where imagine if you open your email for the first time in 5 years, there's just gonna be tons of emails. You're gonna get overwhelmed. But meditation, you're slowly addressing each email one by one, and your inbox gets clear and clear. So I've never reached a state of just no thinking, but it's gotten like less stressful. Like there's less thoughts that come across. And when a thought comes across, you just observe it, and then it just passes right through you.
Mm-hmm. Good. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Speed reading.
Coffee or tea or something else?
tea with honey. I like honey now. I used to be coffee. I used to be coffee black, but tea is good.
What book has had the biggest impact on your life?
The Babylon by Hermes Trismegistus.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't in tech industry, what career path might you have pursued?
Probably building stuff in some country in the sun, like houses and stuff. Maybe farming. I think that'd be cool.
Okay. Eric, if you could have a dinner with any historical figure, who will it be and why?
Hermes Trismegistus, because of the book Reason, and he's the person who mastered the physical, mental, and spiritual planes, and he eventually became known as Egyptian god Thoth. So all the secret society teachings and vibrational, like Newton stuff, it's all based on him. But since I already gave him an answer, probably Miyamoto Musashi. Because I like Asian stuff.
Who inspires you most in the tech world?
Myself. That's a cliche answer, but
Good answer.
if not, I'd probably Jack
Dorsey
recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
One place you've always wanted to travel to?
Northern Lights. I want to stay in one of those, like, like the hotels with the glass. That's glass, and you can just look at the lights all the time.
So you're welcome. Come to Scandinavia.
Oh yeah, no, I will.
What's one piece of tech you can't live without?
Phone.
Obvious.
Yeah, I've been trained to be addicted to that. So,
if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I think I have the superpower, and I think it's to shift timelines.
What's something people might be surprised to know about you?
I'm pretty much an open book, but most people are surprised to learn about the meditation Muay Thai combo. Because I think people like stuff where there are people contrasts. Oh, big anime nerd, super into anime.
Yeah. And finally, if you have to give an advice to our listeners on any topic.
Don't harm anyone and don't take anything away from anyone. I like that one. I mean, it makes sense. I think everyone should just follow
That's
that.
awesome. Eric, thank you for playing along with the lightning round. It has been such a great conversation. I could honestly talk about this stuff all day. But before we wrap up, let everyone knows where they can find you and how they can connect if they're interested in learning more about your work or just reaching out.
Yeah, so if you want to reach out to me personally, my Instagram's the best bet, Eric, ERAC, DMCHUGH. So we can do the voice note thing. I think that's easier than typing stuff out. If you're interested in Web3, shopx.co, shopx.co. If you're interested in dating, dataing.io. But past February 14th, the app should be live anyway, so you can just download it.
Great. Thank you for listening to today's episode with Eric McHugh. As always, remember, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That was from Nikola Tesla. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and stay connected. As we conclude this final episode of Season 2, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to our incredible audience and remarkable guests. Your unwavering support and engagement have been the driving force behind our journey. This year, we broadened our horizons beyond the sports industry, embracing diverse voices and perspectives that intersect with sports community, conservation, innovation, and sustainability. This strategic shift has enriched our conversations and deepened our understanding of the complex challenges and opportunities we face. To explore the episodes and stories we've shared so far, visit prezerosportstalk.com. Your participation has been invaluable, and I look forward to continuing this journey together in Season 3. Thank you for being part of the PreZero Sports Talk community. I wish you a wonderful end of the year. See you in the next season.